Hi, welcome back to the Jac and Glen channel. I'm Jackie.
I'm my husband, Glenn.
He's my husband, Glenn.
Hey, before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews.
And of course, click the link in the description for a free 30-day trial with Audible. And you can use the Rakuten link for a $10 credit while you're shopping online.
Let's get ready for Ready to Love.
Ready to love.
Ready to Love. In this episode of Ready to Love, a man has to go home.
Yep. It's the men's turn to get cut.
Somebody got to go home. Somebody get cut. Let's start it. Let's get started.
Tommy meets with the ladies. And he lets them know that this week their assignment, their focus is to dig deeper, do some detective work, ask questions. You want to get in their house, see how they living. You got to get into these men to figure out who's going to go home, who's not ready to love. Who's not ready to love.
And I'm interested. When he said that, I'm like, okay, which one of these women are going to make sure they go deep, and which guys are they going to go deep with? Because we got to see, we get to see, are they going to go deep with Joel? Is it going to talk about his wife, passing away? Are they going to get deep with my man Troy and want to find out why he kissing everybody? Are we going to actually see Ronald more in this episode? I had some questions when he said, let's go deep, because there's some people that we really haven't seen involved in a lot of stuff. So, so he said, let's go deep. So we started off with
Joel and Vernisha.
Vernisha. Joel loves him some Vernisha.
Yeah, he does. I mean, she seems pretty sweet, and he's a good guy. Everybody likes Joel. Everybody likes Joel,
but Joel loves Vernisha because they got a lot of things in common. They both have kids. They're both single parents. He wants to have that type family atmosphere. And so what he does, he invites Vernisha over, not for no midnight date, but for like a little breakfast type, brunch type deal.
Yes. He fixed the eggs and the bacon for the baby. And he was like, she's looking good. She looking like the whole Mardi Gras party.
Yeah.
And the float, he was like feeling her. We knew that already.
But when he hugged her, this was a special type of hug.
Yeah.
Man, he hugged her
up.
He grabbed her up. He's like, she felt. I almost thought he was gonna say she feels nice and fluffy.
Yeah, he said, well, he did say, he said she was soft and warm.
She was soft and warm. She was soft.
Cuddly.
Probably because she just came in from that rain that was going on outside.
Maybe,
but she was soft and warm when he hugged her up. And so they had some deep conversation.
Yeah. Like you mentioned before, they both have kids. And so she said for her, kids is a big factor when it comes to dealing with the guy. And she said she could see Joel and her family blending. He did talk some about how his wife's death changed him. Yeah. She was like, was it for the good or the bad And he was like, neither. It just changed me, period. Yeah, I'm just different.
I can imagine that. I mean, it could, you don't want to say the good because you don't want her, she's gone, and you don't want to say for the bad because you still want to be in the middle. But it has to change you. When you lose a spouse and you left to raise kids, it changes you. Your routine changes. Where you used to having a partner to help you with certain things, now you're by yourself. Where you had somebody help you financially, now you're by yourself. Or you used to just even coming home and seeing that person, it messes with you. Or again, sleeping in a bed at night, having to start all over and be involved in relationships again, introducing people around your family, your kids. That changes you, so your whole routine has to change.
He talked about how he's doing some things at the house, some making improvements, and she was like, oh, you're good with your hands. And he said, he did some of that before. Like, he took care of a lot of stuff when his wife was alive. And he has to take on more, but he's getting back into those kind of things. Yeah,
it's making him feel comfortable. I mean, he's getting back to normal in a sense that he's doing some things that makes him feel comfortable.
And I like that he said to her, for some people, he said before that he's gone through his grieving process. And he says, he's at the point where even though his wife passed away, it didn't stop him from wanting to love again and wanting to be with somebody again. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. It takes time to move on. It takes time. Not that you ever forget that person or you never forget the relationship, the love that you had, but it's time, after a period of time, it's time for you to move on.
So, all in all, they're feeling each other. She said he's humble. He's got a humble spirit. They got a nice, good connection. They're both she said they're both like overcoming. They've overcome stuff.
Yeah.
That's what they have in common. And she didn't see any red flags with him. And she said, I could see us blending our family because they're good. Good mom, good dad.
They're on their grown folks. I mean, I know we're dealing with grown folks, but they have a level head. And even when he said to her, you know, I know you overcame a lot of things of being a single mother and you worked your way up. It wasn't given to you, but it was something that you worked and achieved for yourself, and he can appreciate that. I mean, he seemed like he's a hardworking man, and a hardworking woman. So hey, I'm voting for them. Let them. Hey,
I like it.
Hey,
I know we don't like couples to get real caught up in one person off the top. But I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I like them right now. If it's somebody else that comes into the picture, we'll see. But right now, I think Venetia and Joel, and we'll be all right.
Yeah. All right. Next, we see Alexis go out with Mr. Kissy Kissy Face Troy.
This was interesting because a lot of people on social media wanted to see these two together anyway, because they both were giving off in the last episode a lot of sexual vibes. You know, Alexis was really heavy with AJ sexual vibes, and we know Troy was kissing, hugging, grabbing people's bras, almost borderline harassment type deal. I'm almost I mean, I know we got a while before we can get there, but I'm waiting for the reunion. So when we get to this conversation, it has to come up with Troy kissing everybody and doing all that. I'm waiting for what everybody would say while Troy, in presence of Troy. But nonetheless, we were thinking Alexis and Troy are together, and she didn't waste any time to pull out the big guns. She didn't waste any time at all talking about Troy. And what? Yeah,
she said she found out that, you know, when she talked to Troy, he was like, I like to take you on a birthday trip out of the country. And come to find out, she wasn't the only person he said this to. And so she was like, you know, she comes in, you made my day, you looking all sexy and stuff, you gave me butterflies. And she was like, well, anyway, you telling everybody the same thing. I want to know what's up. He laughed. She says, not funny. What you laughing for? Yeah. She dug in his tail.
He said, Alexis so fly, don't be playing those games.
Nah.
And she rightfully so, because again, and this is on his fault. Trying to be a player, you don't realize this is a game. And these women have conversations. They meet just like you men meet. And they're having conversation, they're having dialogue. And if you're telling everybody this, when your name comes up, somebody's going to be feeling you or having some kind of attraction to you. Somebody's going to not be feeling you and say, well, you know what Troy said? Well, he told you that too, girl. He told me that too. And now it looks like you are the player that you are.
Yeah. Yeah. So she just told him, you know, be careful about repeating the same conversations to multiple people, because we do talk and it just don't look nice. It don't look nice, Troy. And he was like, yeah, I'm just trying to be me, you know, whatever. Yeah.
Then he denied kissing her when she came in.
He kissed so much he don't even know who he kissing. He like, what's the host that was on Family Feud way back in the day? He used to kiss everybody.
Yeah, I know that guy's name too.
My gosh, he used to kiss everybody.
Dawson.
On the lips.
His last name was Dawson.
On the lips.
Yeah.
On the cheek. On the hand. Troy is like,
Troy's a habitual kisser.
Yeah, and he do it so he don't even know he did.
No, he knew he did. He was just lying, man. Troy.
No, I think he do it so much. It's just like how we talk to one of our kids about a word they say all the time. They say it so much they don't even realize they said it.
Yeah, but he's a bunch of hugger. He does it. Again, I think Troy, for him to be the oldest person on the show,
he acts so young.
He acts so fresh and so young.
Yeah.
It was their date to me was more of a date for Alexis to be like
digging him.
To dig in him, not to really get to know him.
Nah.
Or to know who he was. It's like, and the way it came off was that she just dug into him like, look, this is what you need to do. Get yourself together.
Yeah. Then we get to see Amber and Chris go on a date. Now, I like KG Smooth.
No. She calls him Chris.
I know, but I'm saying for everybody else, because she said I call him Chris, everybody else call him KG.
KG Smooth, but she got a personal relationship.
She's like, I call him Chris because I'm not bound. She didn't say it like this, but basically it's like, I'm not caught up in the radio personality. I like Chris.
I like the person.
Yeah, I like Chris. And so Amber and Chris go out on a date and they go boxing. And instead of hearing from Amber more, we hear from Chris. He said his goal is to kind of peel back more of the layers, because she does kind of have a hard exterior. We know that she's in law, a lawyer, an attorney, or whatever. But we find out some more about her. I thought it was real cute how he did an introduction for her. He's like introducing the chocolate goddess coming. I was like, oh, that's cute.
I like how they played it up. She played it up in the ring as if she was a real boxer, and they got into it, and she was, you know, showing what she had. But you have ones, twos, or jabs, or uppercuts, or, you know.
Yeah, because he said, how you going to fight for me?
How you going to fight for me? Showing a stance, and he, you know, she got a little bit of power.
Hard, yeah.
She hit hard. She got a little bit of power in there, you know. She's compact.
Yeah, so, Amber says she feel a little spark happening there.
She feel a little spark there. And to the point where she had to fulfill enough spark that she was really ready to open up to Chris about the fact that she was adopted. That she recently met one of her siblings. And then which made Chris open up a little bit about his family, stuff that we hadn't seen or didn't know about Chris in the last season. That we didn't
give us a chance.
I mean, say her. I can't blame her. Maybe he did share that, but editing and all that didn't show it.
Yeah.
But you know that his father had 11 children with 9 different women.
Yeah.
You know, and that he was able to go to a function or a family gathering
at 30 years old.
At 30 years old, and meet some of his brothers and sisters who had never seen before. You know, so they had that kind of connection there. That they both met siblings. It took a while. And
like we're saying, Amber felt comfortable enough to open up some more, and she said she didn't tell anybody else this, but she's the only one of her siblings that's really doing something with themselves. She has several siblings, but she revealed to Chris that she's not just an attorney; she's a district attorney.
Yeah, she's a DA.
She's a big dog.
She's a big dog.
Yeah.
She can pull some strings.
Yeah. So she said, you know, when she lets guys know what it is exactly that she does, it's hard for her to find support because obviously, you know, that's a big job. She probably, you know, work a lot of hours. It's demanding, and so she needs somebody that's supporting for her. So
yeah, I mean, I'm sure she get a lot of attention from that, and it's intimidating for men. One thing I like about it, Chris, like I'm able to keep this secret to myself. That I'm able to hold on to this. I won't tell anybody, and that he's feeling Amber as well. And they were both. Amber was happy that it was an individual date.
Yes, yes.
You know, there wasn't a group date, but it was an individual date because the last group date she went on, she thought she was going to be out there feeling Troy, but Troy was feeling somebody else.
And filling up on it.
And filling up on it.
So in the end, Chris says he doesn't see any red flags for him with Amber, and all in all, they just get each other. They're feeling each other.
They really feel each other.
I like it.
I like it too, but I don't want Chris to fall into the trap of throwing all his eggs.
I don't think he will.
In one basket.
I don't think he
will. Mingle with the other 9 women that's there or 8 women that's there now, and try to find your person.
Yeah, I don't think he will.
Because I mean, I know it's a game. At this point, when you start getting down to these numbers, you want at least 2 or 3 people to like you. You want to be on the top 2 or 3 people so you can last all the way to the end.
Right.
You don't want to be just a single person, have a single match. You want to be able to have 2 or 3 people so you can make your way to the final 3.
Then we see Stacy, who invited David out to Pilates.
Yeah.
And funny, he walks in. Hey, how you doing? You're late.
You're late.
You're late on our first date. Not a good impression.
Well, this is the second show we done seen this week where somebody said that they was late on the show. But no, he was late. He didn't really explain why he was late, but yet Pilates seemed like it was her thing. I mean, she was running through the routine. She had to keep her sexy body that she said her mom bought. She had to keep things in shape and order. And it looked like he didn't have any trouble doing the moves.
No, but she sure did pick one from when she was telling him stand up like this because I know you're a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
Like, so be careful on what you hurting yourself and getting off balance.
Pilates ain't no joke, though.
Nah.
When you work out with Pilates, it's about balance and stuff like that. That's not a joke.
Yeah.
So, we'll see.
But as they talk, you know, he said, I'm a big on physical touch type of person. And he said he liked the fact that she did the Pilates. He likes a woman to try to keep herself up because he likes to do that physical touch. And she liked that he was willing to do something new. Pilates wasn't really his forte. It's hers.
Right.
And so she liked the fact that he was willing to do something new.
My issue with that, though, he said he liked to be touchy-feely, but yet you're the same guy that want to be celibate. But again, the touchy-feely leads to other things. You can't, I mean, you constantly touching and rubbing and hugging and all these on these women.
He didn't say all of that. He just said physical touch. It could just be a hug. It could be a hand hold. It could be locking arms. It ain't got to be all that.
I'm just saying, but some of that can lead to that, though.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, you just got to do it in moderation. Everybody likes a handhold every once in a while.
Here we go again. So, as they're talking, she says, you know, trust is a big thing for her. For him, he said the end game for him is marriage.
Yes, the end game for marriage.
And so for her, she responded, you know, her trust is a big thing for her. And, you know, he was like, basically like, when I'm with somebody, you know, we're going to share passwords, you know, be able to come into each other's worlds when it comes to that. And
too much.
Well, yeah, and I think he just misunderstood her. He wasn't saying that I got to know all your stuff, because, you know, she was like, I ain't worried about, you know, giving no passwords and stuff. I don't want you all in my diary, read my private thoughts.
But it's too. But she, again, if y'all married to that point, you'll be sharing your private thoughts with each other. You should have some kind of dialogue. It's not every private thought. It's not every private moment. But there's some dialogue about your thoughts and what you're journaling. My thing with David is that you're talking about dating. You guys are on a date, and you're already talking about looking at people's passwords, emails, phones, and all that type of stuff. There's some trust issues there. When you have to do all that for your spouse, or you have to give them all that information, that's a problem. Now, if they're giving you a reason before, I can understand. But if y'all just dating and or you just married, you don't need all that. What you need all that for? Unless you have some inclination that they're cheating. Trust the person that you're with. You married them for a reason, or you're dating them for a reason. Unless they give you some signs that they're cheating. You don't need all that. Right.
And it just talked about the fact that there's a difference between trust and transparency and privacy. Yeah. Like, you should still, even though you're married or with somebody, you should still have a little bit of privacy. But you could be transparent. But there are some things you have some privacy. Yeah, you just give each other, basically you give each other your privacy. Like, I don't have to be all up in your sauce. Like,
who emailed you today, girl? Who Facebook? Yeah, who's in your DMs? I mean, you don't have to do that.
But you ought to have a space where you all can talk about this. But it shouldn't be every time. Who texting you? Who you get a text from? Who you talking to?
Or you should be able to leave your email up all day long and not worry about something going to pop in and it's not supposed to happen. That's when you build the trust and relationship. You know. But again, when you do something to defy that trust or break that trust, that's when all that other stuff comes in. But from day one, you shouldn't be like, hey, girl, before we get married, I need your IG password. I need all this. That's too much.
Yeah.
That's too much on my end. Some of you guys may like that and may be able to do that. And before y'all get on us, if she wants my password or look at my email, she has it. But
how about this? Anyway, guess what? When you with somebody long enough and married to them, 9 times out of 10, like, he knows what password I'm going to use for almost anything. Yeah. And I know his too. Just because, but I ain't going checking his stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I know, you know, we use like the same passwords for a lot of stuff.
And it's not Rocky.
No, different show. Oh, but I mean, like, he uses like a standard password, some variation. He knows I use the same password, some variation.
Yeah, and again, that's for if there's important things that you may have to get in for.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, there's important things. I'm not just going to go check her email and or her Instagram on a whim. For what? For what?
Nah.
Come on, dog. Have trust.
Well, I shut jokers down anyway, so it don't matter.
Anybody in my DMs? Anybody in my DMs?
All right, next date. This one we see as a group date is AJ and Jason. Decided to invite Alexis and Liz out to play some cornhole.
Alexis be going out, dog.
Yeah.
Alexis, look.
Then we saw some ladies that didn't even go on in dates on this episode. We saw Alexis go out twice.
Alexis goes out. We saw Liz go out twice.
Yeah, that's true too. Yep.
So, hey, here's what it is. I guess you got to fit a lot in an hour, and you can't fit everybody.
I would have liked to see some other people go out.
Maybe some other people didn't go out.
But anyway, Liz is a cornhole player.
Yeah.
She and AJ won. They was killing the game, and so then we see the couples kind of go to their respective areas and they have a chit chat or whatever. And so Jason talks to Alexis, and his thing is, it's hard for him, being that she is a parent of one of his players, that I have to kind of shift his mindset from, oh, this is one of my players' parent, to this is somebody I might potentially see as a mate.
Yeah, I think when you get to that point for him, and his dating is not your own child, I think, to me, if this was in the regular world, not on Ready to Love, I think you would allow that kid to graduate from your team before you deal with the mom. But because this is Ready to Love in this show, and I don't know where her son is at on his team, what level he's at, you might want to be careful because, again, you have to get the views of the other parents. If the son good enough to play on that level. So he has, as a coach, you have a lot of things going through your mind that if I start dating this woman, how is it going to affect the kid?
I think based on what they said on the other episode, the son used to be on the team.
Used to be on the team.
Because she was saying he wanted to get back into basketball, trying to find a team.
If he gets back, you find another team that, if you're dating Jason, he's not the coach.
Right. Yeah, that don't look good. Because then it'd be like, oh, you only putting her son on the floor because you dating his mom.
Yeah, if it's your wife, and that's a different story. You're the son, that becomes a whole different level. But when you start dating a mother while the kid is already there, that's not a good look for you or the association that you're involved in. So I can understand his hesitation.
Yeah, so Jason and Alexis have a conversation. He was like, what is it that you're looking for in a man? Like, what's the biggest thing for you? And she was like, I like time and attention. Yeah. Those are, my love language is time. The time you spend with me lets me know that you love me. That's how she said.
AJ, she tried to do physical touch.
No, that was a lot of talk. She was doing a whole lot of heavy flirting and talking, real sexually charged talk.
Okay. I got you.
And then we see them as they're chatting. Alexis says, not just based on him being a coach, but he's nice and he's kind-hearted, but she says he seemed kind of stiff. And I think what she saw that he couldn't relax, it was probably what he said before. It's like, I'm trying to shift from the coach and the player's mom to
Alexis,
a mate thing.
Alexis the woman, Alexis so fly, whatever her moniker is, Alexis so fly. Yeah. Because again, he was on this side of the couch, she was on this side of the couch, and it seemed like he was going to her, pick her up for the first time, and Dad was like, "You sit over here, you sit over here, and y'all don't touch each other in the middle."
Right.
And so they were so far apart. I mean, I thought it was funny, but she wanted to get closer. Yeah. And what she was surprising to me that she didn't make the move to get closer to him, to be aggressive. Because every time we've seen her in the past, she was aggressive to get closer to the guys. Which shows to me that she's not really attracted to Jason.
I don't know. I think she's not trying to push it because maybe she does kind of feel that he's kind of drawn back because of the son thing. But when she was like, he needs to relax, so she made a joke, and she was like, yeah, because like when it's that time of the month, to try to
show some levity,
ease the tension. So then we see AJ and Liz still talking, and she was like, what's your thoughts on intimacy, and specifically sex before marriage? Well, how you feel about that? And he was like,
Which I was surprised he started stuttering and stammering, because this is the same cat when Alexis was coming on. He was like, yo, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to take it slow. I'm trying to be involved. So to me, it seemed like, yo, AJ, you talking out both sides of your neck here.
Right.
What you want to take it slow, or you try to hop in the sheets? Because if this lady's telling you, Liz, the good lady that you on a date with, you fly, she's telling you, look, I'm willing to be with you, but I want to take it slow. I'm going to abstain. This is what I want to do, but I'm moving slow. And then maybe he wants it in the middle. He wants somebody who's just ready to power, to jump on him, but he may be in the middle, but she's willing to take it slow. He said, he reluctantly said that he would do it, in a sense.
Well, yeah, not really, because what we find out is he was like, "Are you celibate?" And she was like, "Well, I'm abstaining." Mm-hmm. And we find out that, she wants to have it be with somebody. Not that because he did ask us, "Have you had sex before?" Yes, she's had sex before. Yeah. But she says, I want it to be, I'm not just some willy-nilly having sex with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. And he joked, he was like, oh, guys named Tom, Dick, and Harry. She was like, you know what
you know what I mean. You heard that before.
You heard that before. But so she was like, I'm just not out here having sex willy-nilly.
Yeah.
I would rather it be after marriage, but also it has to be with somebody I feel special enough, like they're gonna be there for the long haul. Yeah, it's not gonna be.
She ain't trying to give her a candy dish,
fly by night.
She's not trying to give her a candy dish or goodies and all that to just some random. And it's not gonna be it. She's valuing herself and like that. So hey, look, she also grown woman stuff.
I like the one thing that AJ said, and she does come across this way. He was like, you ever talk to somebody where you could just feel the goodness in the conversation? She was like, I could feel the goodness in a conversation with Liz. Like, she just seemed like a really nice lady.
And her personality,
she's sweet.
Sweet. She got a good heart. You can tell that she has a good heart, that she means well and she wants to do well. And that she comes, as we find out later when she with David, she comes from a good background. Yes. So. Yeah.
All right. And so then, interesting pairing, which we didn't really see a whole lot of interaction with him, but we see Chrysanthemum and Ronald go out on a date.
I realized that Ronald has been making his moves just.
Oh, he's a sleeper.
Not just been making his move, not just on camera. He's been making his move. For some reason, they didn't want to follow him, but Ronald is making some moves, making some rounds, and he was on the chopping block on night one. He was on the chopping block. But he they were just Khalil and Christian that was a little bit worse than him. So Ronald made his way through, and now he's out with Chrysanthemum.
Yeah, and she comes through. He liking what he sees, and she liking what she sees too.
She's like, oh man, I ain't really see him like that, but he swole up, got like he just been lifting weights.
She said he was looking good. They give each other a nice strong hug.
She's like, ooh, strong.
Yeah. And so they play a little Connect 4 in the giant Jenga game. Yeah. Have a real good time playing. And he asked, what is it you need from a man? She said, I'm looking for somebody to settle down. I'm looking for a life partner. Which, if you're on Ready to Love, that's the whole premise of Ready to Love, is that you're ready to settle down and find somebody. So that's par for the course.
Yeah. She gave a good political answer.
Yeah. And so he let his guard down a little bit and let her in, you know, just sharing. He shared with her that, I went to jail when I was 18. I lived in Detroit. I got caught up in what was going on in the neighborhood. And I really didn't have a lot of good influences. So I did get caught up.
And end up going to college.
Yeah.
And making better. Moving to Houston and doing something other than what he used to do in Detroit. Which you like to see that. She didn't. And also, if you notice when he said he went to jail, she didn't really buck her eye. She didn't really bat an eye. She didn't really say anything. Most would be like, "Oh, he went to jail."
Well, but then you have to think about it like this, especially at 18. You think about people's maturity level. And that's something different if you be like, "Yeah, I was in jail last year." Or you would say like, you should be mature. Years. I mean that too. You should be mature. Yeah. Obviously as a teenager, even 18, it's late teen. We still make dumb choices and dumb decisions.
We've all done dumb stuff. Some of us just haven't got caught.
Absolutely.
But some of us just didn't get caught. So
I'm thinking she probably looked at it like that. Like, okay.
Yeah, but he's again. I'm glad she looked at it because he's a different person. When you were 18 to where he's at now, can't remember his age. That's a lot of years.
I want to say he's like 38. Yeah. Close to that.
So that's a lot of 20 let's say 20 years. That's a lot of time to change.
Oh, absolutely. And hopefully.
When you were 18,
you should change.
You should change. When you were 18, you're not where you're at now, 38. You shouldn't be anywhere.
Yeah. So. And he says, so now I'm at the point where I'm ready to take the next step. I'm ready to, I'm looking for a life partner as well. And she says she wants a man to lead and provide and protect. And he was like, I can do that. I got that. I got that. That's too easy. That's what I should be doing.
I think he has his eyes just on her. That he said that you're my number one.
Yeah.
And she was so happy. Ooh, me? Ooh, I'm number one. And I think that because everybody else has been one and number two. They have somebody else that's higher than her. Remember, she was on the chopping block to go home. They brought her name up a couple times last week. So there's a lot of guys who may not be feeling her.
Yeah. So they're trying to get a deeper connection. And Chrysanthemum was like, we learned a lot about each other and got a better idea of who they are. So they're a nice little date. So on to Liz's second day. So Liz, this time she goes out with David. Now we saw them make a connection before when it comes to their church background. So, I'm expecting that to go a little bit further.
Yeah, she walked into the house, like, "Ooh, nice," you know. And like, yeah, you live in a nice spot. This is nice right here. What's, you know?
He greets her with a rose and everything.
He greets her with a rose, and they go sit down and have a conversation and start talking about history and their families.
But first he says, "I had my eye on you from the jump."
Yeah.
From the jump. And then when they had the little church conversation, they got similar backgrounds. They got the spiritual foundation in common. He was like, He tried to make her. He tried to make her the one. Yeah. And they both got the celibacy and the abstinence thing going on right there. So I think it'll work out for them if they get to that point. Yeah. Because she has a couple irons in the fire, and there's some people who's feeling her, and she's feeling some other people. So when they talk about their backgrounds, you know, she was like what was it like growing up? We find out like David grew up like his background was like strict, like nobody coming over the house. His mama was a missionary. No dating, no calling on the phone. She answered the phone. She didn't say hello. She said, "Praise the Lord." I'm not. You know you a church mother when you answer the phone. You say, "Praise the Lord."
I ain't gonna knock because I had a mother like that.
Had.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I'm grown now, so I'm not even gonna deal with that.
She's still your mama though.
She's still my mama, but she don't
answer the phone. Praise the Lord.
She don't. Not now. She don't. She's like, who this?
She's still in church though. She just don't answer the phone.
But I understand what he's talking about. He had a, you know, an old school Southern look. This is what we do. You boys ain't having you know, y'all ain't have no babies around here. I want to know who's calling the house. I want to check what's going on. And again, and it was to the point where, as he got older, he left the church. Right. He said he left the church. He left all that. But again,
he said he didn't lose his commitment to God. But he got away from the church because it was so strict. Like, he didn't want that restriction. And a lot of people do that. God knows I mean, a little bit. I was like, if I ain't got to go to church on Sunday no more, can't nobody make me go to church. And I learned my lesson. Yeah. Meant I wasn't going to church one Sunday and was right around the corner from the church. And what happened? Because I was committed. I'm not going to church this morning because can't nobody make me. My car got broken into. I was like, I should have went to church. Yeah, but it's Baltimore. Your car would have got broken into at church. So it don't make no difference. It don't make no difference. Never mind. But, you know, either way. But he committed that. He said he finally got his life back together. That he was the true prodigal son. But he got back together and started really committing himself to God. So, again, they have a lot of things in common, a lot of things to talk about. The interaction between these two was good. Yeah. Liz divulged that she hasn't been in a true committed relationship in 17 years. And he was like, relationship? 17 years. Stress on the true committed. Because obviously, you know, she's dated some people, you know, or whatever. But she's like a truly committed relationship, one-on-one. She's I haven't had that in 17 years. And 17, that's a long time. That's a long time to have not a true committed relationship. So but she said she had to learn to grow and mature. Yeah. And you know, she feels like she's in a better space, obviously, because she's in here for Ready to Love, and the end game, you know, is to have a committed relationship. And so again, walls are coming down, and so David feels a little more secure. And he wants to, he said he feels like Liz is a safe place for him. Yeah. And so he tells her, he divulges some information. He says, you know, I got married in my early 20s. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it didn't work out. It didn't work out. Obviously, that was, you know, several years. But then he said, then he got married again. And this time it was short-lived. He was only married for a year. She walked out on him. And the problem there was... obviously, it was some trust issues. Trust issues, and this is where the conversation he had with Stacy comes in, because he had trust issues, and so he wants to make sure. Man, again, his walls are up, just like a woman's wall will be up. I don't want this ever happen to me again. Right. So we need to be transparent, because in my last relationship it wasn't transparent, and because I didn't let my guards down, she cheated on me. You know, and he hurt by that thing. It's not just women who need to get healed from some issues or whatever case, soul ties. There's some dudes out there who are struggling with some of these issues and are hurt. Yeah. And so she asked him straight up, you know, do you think can you really give love? And he said, I'm not scared to love, not scared to be in a relationship. He said, but my thing is, I want somebody that's going to be there for me. That's not going to walk out on me, because I mean, he felt abandoned. He felt abandoned, and he doesn't want that again. Definitely. He wants somebody that's accepting of him.
When you put all your all in all into it, I'm sure, I don't know this woman that left him, but I'm going to guarantee you, after the first marriage, he was like, well, I'm going to get married again, and I'm going to put everything into it. I'm going to put my all in all into it. I'm going to work this, I'm going to make this work out. And when it didn't work out, he was like, dang, but I gave you everything. What else can I do? What else should I do?
Yeah.
And so he's hurt.
But he said, I got a lot of love to give. I want to give it to somebody. I'm not holding back. I want to give it to somebody, but I wanted to give it to somebody that's worth it.
That's worth it.
That's worth it. So
I can see him and Liz working out, but he has some competition.
Yeah.
He has some competition. So
but
AJ's competition.
A little closer there. But anyway, so then we see the ladies meet up with Tommy, and of course we have to go through who you feeling, who you not feeling. So we know Vernisha is feeling Joel.
Yep.
She's feeling them. She likes that baby, that accent.
Everybody loves the accent.
Everybody like it. And Liz says she's feeling David.
Yep.
To which they put the camera on Stacy. You know, her face was a little like, and she came back and said, she expressed the thing about how he said he wants passwords, bank accounts, social media and stuff. It just put up a red flag for me.
I felt Alicia vibes all over again. I felt like, you know how they kind of railroad my man David last year.
Yeah.
With the whole baby situation.
Yeah.
Or the kid situation.
Yeah.
And when they brought this up and she was saying all this stuff, I'm like, man, they about to send this dude home on some password stuff.
A misinterpretation.
Misinterpretation and miscommunication.
Yeah.
I said he about to go home just like David did last year.
But the one thing I like about it is that as Liz is listening, you know, she taking it in. She's like, but I'm not swayed by it. She was like, I mean, I ain't got no problem sharing my social media. You know, that's not no big thing to me.
Because that, again, she said that's the way I was raised. Again, they have that raising together. The way they were raised up, the way their values, their morals, they're kind of
no secrecy.
No secrecy. Yeah. They're aligned. So if they get together, that relationship will work.
Of course, Amber says she's feeling Chris and Chris KG. And then we see Chris Chrysanthemum. She's feeling Ronald. She said he kind of snuck up on her. And she's like, okay, yeah, it's a sleeper. So like we said, Stacy said she's not feeling David because of the whole conversation with the privacy. He wants the woman to share too much. Vernisha says she's not feeling AJ or Troy.
No.
Alexis is not feeling Troy either. I think Kyra real quick said she wasn't feeling David. That was a real quick thing.
Yeah, real quick one.
But Liz not feeling Troy. So obviously David and Troy on the chopping block. They gotta make some
yeah, somebody got to go
have
home.
some conversations. And so we see Stacy go to meet with Troy. And we see Amber go talk to David.
Yeah.
And of course Stacy talks to Troy about all this kissy stuff. She said you spreading it low and wide. And actually Miss E said, I think it's Miss E, yeah, the Braxton's mama. He said you lay it low and spread it wide.
Lay it low, spread it wide.
So that's what Troy's doing. And you gotta know it's an unfair presentation of you. You didn't mean that way, but just know you're not coming off good to the women.
Well, one thing, he didn't kiss Stacy when he showed up.
No, but she ain't really give him space to kiss him either. Like, nah,
dog, you ain't give me no kiss on the cheek.
And so when Amber talks to David, she talks, you know, some issues came up with, because what Tommy said to them is, when he talked about the password thing, it was like, we can't be bringing things from our old relationship into the future. It looks like he's got a problem bringing his past into the present. And so you got to be careful with that.
Also, like what he said, too. He said, you know how we do. We do it respectfully.
Right.
We take care of this. We handle this respectfully. So let's go ahead and do it. And I like to pick Amber, the district attorney, to go ahead and handle it with David. Because she got straight to the point. She didn't sugarcoat anything. She got straight to the point. This is what the woman said. This is what's going on. This is the problem. And David was like, yeah, I know who that is.
Yeah, he was like, that's a conversation I had with Stacy. Let me explain. And so basically what he said was, he was like, I'm not saying I got to be all up in your BI, but I want us to have a relationship to the point where it's not a problem.
Yeah, there's some transparency there.
Yeah, it's not a problem. I don't have to have your passwords, but I know you're not going to have nothing going on that I need to be looking at anyway.
It just becomes a boundary issue.
Yeah.
It becomes boundaries and communication. That's not a big issue. Y'all just have, if whoever he gets with, if they have some boundaries and some communication, they'll be fine. This is the guidelines of our relationship. Let's work out. Because everybody's relationship is different. I can't say to have passwords is right or not to have passwords is wrong. Again, each person has to work out their own relationship.
Yeah. So. And so in the end, y'all know who's not ready to love?
Troy.
It's Mr. Kissy Face.
Y'all was ready for Troy to go home last week.
Yes,
only reason he didn't go home last week because it was a women's week to go home. Y'all don't be
ready to snip him.
Y'all was ready to snip Troy after all the kissy hugs.
Yeah, it'd be too much. It'd be too much. So he could take his too much on right on home. And David lives to see another day.
You said Liz?
Lives.
Liz to see, no,
Liz too. Lives to see another date with Liz. Yeah. So I'm excited to see what happens with them from. Yeah. And you know what? I'm glad they didn't make that, like you said, the other David. Make that the point to have everybody gang up on him and let's get him out of here. He don't want to take care of nobody's kids. He wants your passwords, girl.
I don't do it. He want all your information. But again, it's each his own. Everybody work out their own relationship when they get there. You know. Just y'all leave a comment in the comment section below. Do you give your spouse or your significant other, or somebody that you're dating, your passwords? I'm interested to see.
Oh, not nobody I'm dating. I ain't dating nobody though, but.
But then I hope not. You ain't dating. We dating. We date each other. We still date after all these years. Oh no! See, look, see, she playing, y'all. She be mad if I call somebody else baby. But nah, we want to leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know, do you share your password with the person you're dating or that you're married to? Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of our reviews. We got a special interview coming up next week from Ready to Love. We have Ida from Ready to Love who got eliminated last week coming up this week. So make sure you be on the lookout for that interview from Ready to Love.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.